Hey, folks, welcome back to Crisco's Corner. Well, I knew this would happen eventually, but I didn't think he would say it out loud. Fox News, Biden faces backlash for saying America was an idea that we've never lived up to. Are you freaking kidding me? Joe Biden's closing argument is that America has always been a disappointment that the Trump 2020 campaign reacted. Of course they reacted. It isn't just a Trump campaign. Joe Biden was facing intense backlash Wednesday night for referring to America as an idea that we've never lived up to. The Democratic nominee shared a clip from his interview on the podcast Unlocking Us with Brene Brown, which we released earlier in the day. America was an idea, Biden said. We hold these truths to be self-evident. We've never lived up to it, but we've never walked away from it before. I just think we have to be more honest. Let our kids know as we raise them what actually did happen. Acknowledge our mistakes so we don't repeat them. Yeah, well, you want perfection, Joe. I guess the 600,000 Americans that died in the Civil War to end slavery doesn't count. I guess the tens of thousands of doughboys that died in trenches in Europe in World War I doesn't count. I guess the tens of thousands of men and women who died in World War II to stop fascism doesn't count. I guess when after World War II, Europe was in shambles and the Marshall Plan fed Western Europe and saved it from Russian domination, I guess that doesn't count. Whenever there's a problem anywhere in the world, who's the first person they call? The United States for help. Even people that hate our guts call us for help. I guess it doesn't count that people are literally dying trying to get here. This is the place everybody wants to come to all over the world. I guess that doesn't count. Biden summarized the remark by tweeting, America was an idea we've never lived up to it, but we've never walked away from it before. We've come a long ways. I guess Vice President Biden, at the civil rights marches, the civil rights laws in the 1960s, it doesn't count. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You know, I don't think even Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is probably as left as they go of all the governors and politicians, elected people anyway, would go, and I don't think he would even say that. Biden was slammed by critics, including members of the Trump 2020 campaign. Well, of course. You don't have to be Republican to slam that. We've never lived up to it. We've come a long ways. Even President Obama said not too many years ago, we're about 90% of the way there when it comes to racism and equality. We just had that little bit of 10% to go. And that was before he was president, I believe. So you know what, Joe? I'm not even going to say vice president. I'm going to give you any respect. You know what, Joe? Bite me. Enough's enough. Joe Biden's closing argument is that America has always been a disappointment. Trump campaign communications director Tim Murtaugh reacted. Joe Biden, where have you been for 47 years? Yeah, he was a senator for 47 years in this country that sucks. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ask all the people we took in as refugees over the years. World War I, World War II, the Irish potato famine. The list goes on and on and on. Unbelievable. We stand for freedom and opportunity for all. That's the goal. The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, that's the goal to live up to. And we've come closer now to living up to that than anywhere in our history. You, my friend, are a fool because you're patronizing the far left of your party because you feel the election slipping away, and that's the only solid base you have. Well, you know what? Shame on you. Our country is filled with strong, innovative, and hardworking individuals who love this nation and don't want to fundamentally transform it. Trump campaign senior advisor Mercedes Schlapp-Rowe. I love Mercedes anyway, but she's right. 47 years, zero accomplishments. Americans deserve better than an apology tour. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, tweeted, and he's right. When my father lay wounded on the beach in the Pacific defending his country in World War II, America had more than lived up to her promise. I'll never forget, during one of the State of the Union addresses President Trump was giving, there was a older gentleman in the crowd that was a boy in a concentration camp. And he's telling the story about how it was getting towards the end of the war, and they put them all in cattle cars, railroad cars, and the train started moving. And they thought to themselves, and their fellow said, this is it. This is the end. The train screeched to a halt, and they thought, this is it. They're going to kill us now. And my father, he said, looked through the slots in the cattle car and screamed out in joy. It's the Americans. It's the Americans. They've come to save us. Are you effing kidding me, you idiot? Are you kidding? Seriously? When Americans walked on the moon, we were the brightest star in the firmament. If you weren't owned by China, you might love this country too, actor James Woods scolded the former VP. Good for you, Mr. Woods. I always thought you're a great actor. Anyway, you're even a better person. Never lived up to it. Speak for yourself, man. A little play on words there from Joe. Center for American Liberty founder and trial lawyer Harmeet Dilhan. I like her too. She's great. This immigrant is so grateful to be an American. I never diss her or take her for granted, her being the United States. Look at this. Look at this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, here's one from James Wood, whose father was in the Pacific, wounded in World War II. Unbelievable. I can't fathom this. I really can't. I expected it from the AOCs and the progressive leftist nut bars. I expected that from them because they're just ignorant. They don't know any better. Mr. Biden, what are you doing? This is, as I believe Ronald Reagan used to say, this country is the shining city on the hill. Almost the entire world wants to come here. We have to guard the place to keep people out because too many would come in. We haven't lived up. Are you kidding me? This is 2020. Go back to 1820, 1920, 2020. Tell me we haven't made any progress? We are the richest, most powerful, and most forgiving and kind nation that ever lived. Sir, you're an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. You can talk about all the dumb things Trump says and his attitude and his arrogance and his cockiness. That's nothing compared to this. Nothing compared to this. You got to be an idiot. And he was given this line. He just didn't make it up on the cuff. So anyway, folks, I'm disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. After this, if anybody in this election cycle, I don't care if it's at the local level for dog catcher, city councilman, mayor, or president, or senator, or congressperson, anybody that votes for a person with a D in front of their name just for this year, say no. Say no. I'm embarrassed, I'm mad, and I'm peeved. You know, Mr. Biden, I want to say something, but I can't because this is YouTube. But you know what? Up yours. We deserve better than you. Donald Trump may not be perfect, but those are the two choices we have. I would never vote for you, ever, especially after this.